You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a weird movies podcast. Joined today, as I often am, by the inevitable Giles Edwards, as I inevitably am by the.
Hello, Greg, again. Hello, everyone, again.
Um, so did you survive snowpocalypse?
Yes, snow. Let's see. Monday morning starting around 9 through Sunday, Sunday morning through Monday morning. So yeah, it was about 30 some odd hours of snow and just cleared off the final bits for my driveway. So
Oh, how
it's
much?
deep out, it's cold, but it is mostly off the roads now.
How many inches did you get?
I'd say at least a foot and a half over
Oh,
the day or so, which is
that's a lot.
that's about twice as much as we got over the course of all last winter. So I guess we're playing catch up.
Yeah, we got like 7 inches, and everything shut down. So, but yes. All right. Well, and our temperatures are remaining below zero here in Louisville, Kentucky, until next week, probably.
Okay.
Um, so you have probably even colder ones to look forward to for even longer.
Whee!
All right, but let's instead warm ourselves, warm our
Mm.
hearts by talking about some weird movies that have been released almost, well, I think entirely on physical media this week. Let me see.
Yeah, looks that way from the lineup.
Let me see what I've got. Can you see the lineup?
I see five things.
And there are 5 things to discuss. And we'll begin with this Blu-ray release. They're all Blu-ray releases, I believe. Well, one's 4K, yeah. So, but anyway, same thing. But if you would describe this Blu-ray cover for our viewers who cannot see this.
Sure. What we have on this cover is the actor, the title, which the lead actor isn't that thing, and this picture is from the neck up, almost a side profile shot, though there's a slight tilt towards us as the character faces neck face is facing left, but eyes are cast up to, some higher point, maybe the sky. But he's kind of blandly middle-aged, attractive, short, tousled, curly hair. Got some stubble, which suggests that he hasn't been shaving as much as he might otherwise be in the habit of. And descending from the left eye, which is the one that we can see, are scratch marks illuminating, I guess, the white that is also the background. And it's a row of 3 scratch marks that kind of mimic tears. I bet this guy's gone through something unpleasant recently and is going through something differently unpleasant now, which may be the source of these scratches.
Yeah, okay. Well, what is the title of that?
The title is The Thing with Feathers.
And the actor?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. So a big name. But you probably didn't hear about this when it came out in theaters. We didn't mention it. It was suggested by a reader in our suggestion queue, and
Mm.
then volunteered for by Michael Diamandis, who you never know what Michael Diamandis is going to review. It's half the time some Greek movie that no one has ever heard of, and half the time it's some new release movie that everybody has heard of, or
And
this
now.
from A24, I believe, or if not, it's at least A24 style, but
Oh,
they
yeah.
kind of dumped it, uh, did not make their major slate in the DVD. It's being released by Universal.
Mm. Uh-huh.
Do you happen to know the plot of this?
Yes, I read Diamante's review and then I even watched the trailer. Um, A lot of this is man played by Benedict Cumberbatch. I believe he's a comic artist of one variety or another. Loses his wife, and so it's the story of him and his two sons, and it seems like the immediate aftermath of her death, and the either metaphor or supernatural encounter that descends upon the household.
Yeah, and the metaphor is the his grief appears as a crow which talks to him and taunts him. I don't
Hmm.
think that's a spoiler at all, but
That's certainly it's in the trailer.
yeah, if it was, then the movie has been spoiled for you. I think that's the only reason people would want to really watch it is to see the talking crow, right?
I mean, I suppose the voice of the talking crow actually sounded familiar to
It was
me.
David Thewlis,
Okay, that would be why.
which is a good. He gets the acting gets praised in this from Cumberbatch and Thewlis's voice acting, and I think that's about the extent of the praise this received. It was based on a very popular novel called "Grief is the Thing with Feathers," so they pretty much just cut out one word for the movie adaptation, and as I understand it from most reviews, the general takeaway was that it was better left as a novel. It
Hmm.
plays out better on the page than it does in a rather literal and obvious metaphor.
Yeah.
So not very many positive reviews. Most of the positive reviews centering around the acting in the film. Um, but that's it. Even Michael Diamatti said it was like a weak recommendation specifically for people who like A24 type horror movies that
Hmm.
deal with grief. A similar movie that this premise reminded me of that's a little bit, although I haven't seen The Thing with Feathers, I feel safe in saying it's a little bit better movie, was Tuesday with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which also had death appearing as a bird, this time a
Hmm.
parrot, but they go in a lot of different directions with that one than this one does. Maybe a little bit more unexpected things happen. And even that still wasn't like weird enough for me to really want to write up, although it
Yeah.
was close. It could have been written up for the site, but wasn't.
And I'm just thinking, considering the bird, reimagining this as a tale of vengeance and call it the Crow, and you could have something entirely different with Benedict Cumberbatch
There
and
you
David
go.
Thewlis.
That might work. But anyway, that's The Thing with Feathers. The probably biggest profile of the movies released this week, which is why we mentioned it first, but not the weirdest or the most recommended for you. But still, if
Mhm.
you're interested, by all means, check it out. But let's move on to something quite a bit rarer.
Yeah, all right. So this is grainy still taken. I'm guessing this almost looks like a picture of a TV screen kind of thing, considering the parallel black bars on the side. So this is definitely much more of an oddity, but who knows? We got a sort of drab, darkish red backdrop. We have a greenish, yellowish tablecloth covered table thing, and seated in front is a young individual in a platinum blonde, curly haired wig and seems to have a sort of maybe a doll's dress positioned in front of them to, mimic as if they were wearing it with some shoes there, seemingly trying on this look. I can barely tell that the body is much too large for the garment in question. And so this individual, whatever they're doing, I wonder if they're recording at home because they are staring directly into the screen, and this could well be a faux grainy effect being added here.
I do not think it's a faux grainy effect. This movie. By the way, do you know what this movie is?
I'm gonna say it's Twin
It
Cheeks.
is Twin Cheeks. And it was shot on video, so that's
Oh, okay.
therefore the look you get. That's why it looks like that. If you look at all the other sample photographs, you will find
Oh, yeah.
they all come out like this.
I am finding that. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, I might even. Do you think they're worth showing people the other stills
No, I mean, sure, they're certainly neat looking. At least if we're talking the ones on
on Amazon?
the
Yeah.
artist site, yeah. It's
At any rate, this is a Twin Cheeks, which, as you might guess, is a Twin Peaks parody, and it is from it's AKA Twin Cheeks, Who Killed the Homecoming King, and I don't even know. I guess we can show this on camera. Let me.
the three images I saw were all
Yeah, they're all.
fine.
They're all.
There's no fully disrobed individual,
Now we
although
should
one is.
mention that this movie is going to have a lot of nudity, male nudity in it,
Mhm.
a lot of homoerotic content. I'm not sure how explicit it gets, but it is definitely warned. It definitely comes with a warning.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, there's a semi-pantsed individual, face down in the woods, head tilted up against a tree.
Yeah.
Um,
Then we have
there's
a
that. I
man.
mean, that looks like a weird like commercial still or something. But yes, gentleman in tighty whities and watch, seated at the corner of the bed. Behind him, woman in much more thorough loungewear, with the phrase "Rules were made to be broken." I'm
Probably
guessing that's
broken.
an N at the end there, although it's been cut off to look like an R.
And then we have
Yeah, we got, I don't know, very tan, certainly green-hued individual, but that could have to do with what he's looking at. Turtleneck and a chain, so obviously very classy. Slick back, platinum blondish hair, and a dark drab interior there. Yeah, so it looks like maybe holding something up in front of him or something
yeah.
like that. All very cryptic.
And then this
And
one's even kind of super blurry, but
yeah, this is one image superimposed on another platinum blonde, feminine-looking figure with elbow gloves holding up binoculars that are pointing straight ahead at us, and her head and hands dominate the back frame, and in front, superimposed, or vice versa, is a slouching figure in blue jeans, a jacket of some sort on, oh, I don't know, probably a Harley Davidson motorcycle.
all right. So what we, basically what this is it is a, I think the key way to describe it, despite not having seen it, but from everything I've read in the description, is it's basically a Twin Peaks parody, as if directed by John Waters in his trash trilogy era.
Yeah, this is probably some hints given. The studio behind this was VHS Hitfest,
Yes,
which
VHS Hit
when run
Fest.
together spells something else.
VHS
Um,
Hit Fest released it, yes. Made in, obviously, the Twin Peaks era by
yeah.
Kelly Hughes, a underground filmmaker who we have covered obliquely on the site because there was a documentary of his public of heart about a project he did, Heart Attack Theater, which was a public uh, what is it? The public access
Okay.
TV series, an episodic soap opera type series that he did from in the '90s in Seattle, where he probably got away with as much shocking content as you can on public access television.
Yeah, looking at this oeuvre, it seems to start with a short with Faster Kitten Natividad Kill Kill, then Twin Cheeks, then La Cage aux Zombies, which I imagine is another adaptation of this one an overtly homoerotic work as opposed to the Lynchian fare. So yeah, this person is doing their thing, and I tip my hat to them for it.
And there's a lot of warning for nudity, sexual situations,
Hmm.
and scatology in it. The old John Waters influence there. Um, I do know Kelly Hughes from Facebook, and I have a slight connection with him in that he ran a film festival, a local film festival in Seattle, for which I was one of the judges and had to screen a bunch of very micro budget films for him. I don't think he runs that festival anymore. I don't remember what it was called, but it was very low budget stuff, mostly from Seattle. And, some of the shorts were good. The features were all pretty bad, but
Hmm.
interesting guy. Not really probably what you would expect seeing him from somebody who makes such um, transgressive works. He's really rather ordinary looking fellow. So, but, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that he doesn't look like the freak you would think made.
Yes, that
So,
affable some guy appearance.
mean it
Yes.
in a nice way that he's ordinary looking. Um, that might play worse than I intended it. So anyway, so that is Twin Cheeks. Some say it is much sought after oddity. I guess it among a very small group of people who know what it is famous.
And now there's a Blu-ray of it with
Now there's a Blu-ray, and there's a
7
lot of
bonus
extras
features.
on the Blu-ray. And one extra, and I should mention this, is an entire. For one thing, there's a commentary about Twin Cheeks, an interview with Kelly, and some more little shorts and music videos that Kelly did. But there is an entire bonus feature film called "It's Not the House, It's My Mother," which I have found no information about, a sort of questionable date of 2023
Uh,
in the only place, not on IMDb, so
oh.
no idea about that, but it is an entire bonus feature that you get if you buy this Blu-ray from VHS Hitfest, we'll call it. So that's Twin Cheeks, and let's move on to the next Blu-ray release.
All right. Well, we've got a domestic exterior at nighttime, maybe near a shed, garage, sort of a backyardy kind of feel, but mostly structure there. See some planted tree in the distance beyond a portal way. In the foreground, what do we got? We've got a rather driven looking woman with an updo and large framed glasses, big earrings, beaded necklace, bracelet. Um, Might just be a zip up hoodie sweatshirt thing, or it's hard to say. She might be an evening wear, actually, something stylish and cool from the era. And she seems to be looking at a small plant with a maniacal expression while wielding a chainsaw.
Yeah, did you mention she had braces?
She has braces.
Okay. Um, Very strange looking woman with a very strange expression. Not that the woman herself is strange, but oddly dressed, oddly, with an odd expression, um, doing odd things. Uh,
Yeah.
and this is a still. Do you know what this is a still from, Giles?
I could probably narrow it down to one of two movies.
Well, take a guess.
This is from Trolls. One troll. This is from the first Troll movie.
No, the second Troll movie.
Ah,
Troll 2. We're not covering Troll 1 this week, just
uh,
only Troll 2.
I got
Um, So Troll One, of course, was the movie about trolls, I believe, with Sonny Bono. Troll Two is the totally unrelated movie with no trolls, made by an Italian on a hugely low budget, extremely low budget,
it.
about goblins, where no
Okay.
trolls are mentioned or appear. It was simply retitled to take on sort of a dubious credibility of the first Troll movie, which wasn't exactly a big hit. This is another one that I think might benefit from looking at some more stills. So I'm going to load up another set of stills.
Sure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Assuming I'm capable of doing that. Here we go. Anyway, let's see what we've got here. Let's look at some more stills from this. Here we have the goblins.
Okay.
We're not trolls. Oh, what do we have here?
We have a young boy, a ginger, I think, close-up shot, face curled up, scrunched up in anguish, and besplattered with green goo,
Green
which I'm
goo.
guessing is not from Nickelodeon's Double Dare, although it might have been at one point.
And a nice touch, the green goo really has covered his teeth.
Yeah, it's a great phone lock screen if you're looking for one.
There's the one we chose to feature. Here's a rather ordinary
Yeah,
looking scene.
I may have zipped out of
Well, at any rate,
audio
it's just a bunch of.
testing.
Hello, Giles, can you hear me?
Testing.
What we have here is a bunch of people, one of whom is holding a fire hose, and there's kind of a ragged American flag in the background.
It's like one of those sort of windsock ornament things, I think.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
And there's I think, a policeman in the
Definitely,
foreground,
this is a hometown sidewalk.
his hometown sidewalk, and then more pictures of the not troll but
Not trolls.
goblins.
It's,
I'm sure, Giles, you have not seen Troll 2,
I haven't, no.
since you didn't recognize that still, which
No,
you
I
probably
foolishly
would.
I read Arset's double review and took my stab at which was which.
This surprisingly, so Troll 2 is widely considered one of the worst movies ever made. I doubt you can find many lists of the so bad it's good movies where Troll 2 isn't in the top five somewhere, along with Plan 9 from Outer Space and The Room. Troll 2 may be the name that pops up most commonly after those two. And it is really, really bad, and so bad that it is indeed funny. Now, I've only seen it actually on Riff Tracks version, which is a bit superfluous because it didn't need additional jokes to be funny. So I have not watched it on its own, and I would that's something I would not be adverse to doing again at some point.
Well, it is
But
PG-13, so not good for any number of people. Let's see. Yeah, looking at the director credit, that's it's directed 31 films,
and
several of them uncredited, and a number of others with an alternate name.
and this is the one he's famous for. So that should tell you something about the director's career. Movie's so bad they made a documentary about it called "Best Worst Movie."
That's that is an achievement because
And
I've seen some.
of all the movies we're covering today, this may be the one well, almost certainly the ones that our viewers know the best
Uh,
and look forward to the most. That is Troll 2 on 4K UHD. Troll 1 not on 4K UHD. Troll 2, yeah, that deserves the big.
Oh, and these bonus features, man, newly scanned and restored from its 35 millimeter commentary track with actors George Hardy and Deborah Reed, a 45-minute interview with director and screenwriter Claudio Fragasso. That's probably worth the price of admission alone. And oh God, yeah, this is loaded. This is a loaded disc, people.
It's
This
a
is
loaded
what you've been waiting for.
from Vinegar Syndrome, although I think most of those extra features have been seen before.
Oh yes, but this 4K
Here they're all in one place, yes,
and
on 4K,
yeah.
which is how you want to see Troll 2, in all its Technicolor glory.
Yeah, you go out and you get the newest, biggest TV so you can really do it
All
justice.
right. Needs a new TV to buy that. So that's Troll 2. Now let's move on to this one. Do you want to describe this still?
I will do my best. This is sort of odd. This could be a back alley outside. It might be inside horrible industrial graffiti basement. There are some metal structures in the mid. I guess it might be ductwork. Okay, so that's ductwork that's had various things written on it. It's coming down at ominous angles with the lighting doing great shadow work. And standing kind of in the middle of this, in front of a row of candles, is one of those blandly handsome European types in a collared shirt and slacks and, haircut kind of thing. Looking over, I'll say, more classically attractive woman who seems to certainly be unconscious and is possibly in a very half-assed way bound
Mm.
upon this mattress thing that she's lying on in this dank, ugly milieu there. So a lot of things going on dimly.
All right, and do you know what this is?
This is the documentary about the Stendahl Syndrome. Or no, this is a film titled.
It is not a documentary. That would be a nice scene to have in a documentary. I would wonder where they got that footage from the satanic ritual, but there we go. It is Stendahl Syndrome, Dario Argento, late movie, an attempt to do a sort of more modern giallo, takes its name and sort of its premise from a sort of dubious psychiatric condition called Stendahl Syndrome, where people hallucinate, have strong hallucinations after seeing works of art. And the hallucinations here are the best part of this and the best reason to see it, I think. But they only take up the first part of the movie, and then it kind of puts that whole thing to one side, moves on. And it's an okay movie. Dario Argento made a lot of bad movies in the last half of his career. This one, among his later movies, is more notable and better. Interesting fact about this movie is that it stars his daughter, Asia, who is a fine B-movie actress on her own, but it seems a bit uncomfortable for the father to be directing the daughter in this particular role because it has so many graphic sex scenes. And, to in his defense, several other actresses were cast and backed out, and Asia kind of came in on an emergency basis and really does a good job. But that's just a little awkward trivia about the film.
Hmm.
Giles, do you know anything else about this film or have any thoughts or comments?
I read your review, and it sounds like a 90s Argento outing to the hilt there. I watched the trailer, which unfortunately had an English dub for it. So I remember you warned against that in your review. But of course, with this super duper edition, I bet there's an Italian version with great subtitles for people who want the purer Stendhal experience. And it looks like, yeah, this syndrome has existed or not since the 19th century, and it's still kind of debated whether or not it's worth describing as such.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of questionable, but a good premise for a movie.
Yeah.
Although I wish it had played a larger role in the entire movie. Still, at
Well,
any
you
rate,
can get your fan fiction going, Greg. You can do it.
it's this is from Vinegar Syndrome. It's a 4K UHD upgrade, so I think everything on here has been seen before. It's a two-disc set and has plenty of bonuses like commentary with film historians, uh, Eugene Ercolani, Troy Holworth, and Nathaniel Thompson, and then a number of interviews
Yeah.
and featurettes.
Living with second unit director Luigi Cozzi, and that's actually probably quite interesting because those people are integral to a movie of any modest to large size, and you don't really hear from them much.
Well, and Luigi Cosi had a very good career on his own as a
Ah,
first unit feature
good,
director.
good.
He made quite a few films, so he was a very good, talented, a top-rate director in the Italian giallo exploitation sense, as your second unit director is pretty good.
Okay. I hear that. Yeah, that is a genre I know embarrassingly little about.
Well, you're okay with that. That is the Stendahl Syndrome in 4K UHD for fans of Dario Argento and Asia Argento, who is the, of course, attractive woman uh, put shown there. It's also interesting that Asia Argento is a very beautiful woman and the daughter of Daria Nicoli, who is cast in a lot of Dario Argento's earlier movies. So it's a whole family thing there going on there, because the mother also starred in and script wrote or co-scripted his classic features back in his classic days, and then starts working with his daughter later. So saving a little money there probably.
Yeah.
At any rate, let's go on to the last item. Giles, would you describe this still?
All right, we've got, looks like a business exterior on a Clement day. Seated prominently in the front is a youngish brunette woman with her hair done back, has a nice white band, double string of pearl-looking what have you necklace, and Argyle style casual sweater thing, and she's looking off into the distance, slightly off over our left shoulder as we're looking at her facing the camera, and over her left shoulder proper, but behind her, as might be appropriate, is a greasy hair, is a tidy but greasy hair gentleman with a red dinner jacket, bow tie, white shirt, and he's kind of hunched, leaning toward with his hands together as if anticipating something. And it must be worth mentioning that there are some brassy or gold tone little horns emerging from his forehead just above his eyebrows, suggesting a supernatural element to this individual who may or may not be tempting this woman in some capacity.
And you know the name of this one, Giles?
This one is titled Satan Hates You.
And indeed he does. What can you tell us about Satan Hates You? And then I'll explain.
I can tell you that it is it plays around with the Christploitation genre as epitomized by the Ormond family, I'd say. Seems to be a comedy horror or something. Came out in '09. Our reviewer said that had a number of merits, but not weird enough for our purposes.
Yeah, it's from James Felix McKinney is the director who has been featured on our site before and gave us a top 10 list of weird movies in which he cited one of his favorite weird movies as If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do, which tells you where he's coming from. So this is it's a very straightforward sort of adaptation of a Chick tract, if you've ever seen a Jack Chick tract, those little comic books put out by an evangelical who, even by evangelical standards, is a bit of a hard ass and a oddball. These tracts were meant to convert people to Christianity. However, they found much more appreciative audience among people who like to look at them ironically because they were so bad and so overdramatic and so over preachy that they truly did not bring anyone to Christ at all.
Oh, wow. Just did a little research here, and apparently, if you go to chick.com, you can learn more about these kinds of things and
Yeah,
possibly even snap up some for yourself to share with friends and loved ones.
yeah. If that archive is still up, it's still today turning people away from Christianity because it's so crazy. Yeah, but he really does this as an adaptation of a Chick tract, and I think because he does that and he plays it straight, audiences at the time in 2009 when it came out did not get it. They did not know what they were looking at, which I would think would make it a weirder experience.
Yeah.
But it has Larry Fessenden in it and as one of the imps, and it's his whole gang. And there are a lot of cameos from pretty famous B-movie people like Angus Scrimm from Phantasm and Reggie Bannister from Phantasm, and the lovely Debbie Rochon, who I believe is who we're seeing there, and Michael Berryman, who, if you don't know the name, you would probably recognize him if you saw him. A very unique looking individual.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The cover of The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, that is a very unique looking individual.
So this is a very oddball movie. It was entertaining enough. It totally missed its audience because I don't think that there were enough people that were familiar with what McKinney was doing here to get it as satire.
Yeah.
And so hopefully now it's out on Blu-ray for what I believe is the first time, and hopefully maybe some people can check it out and enjoy that and give it a little bit of a second life. One more thing I'll say about it is the Blu-ray release includes a number of creepy Christmas shorts, which have featured at least one of the creepy Christmas shorts on our site as a Saturday short. Yeah, those came out in, I think, 2013 or so. They did a bunch of them from different directors. I think they did about 12 of them, and they were fun little Christmassy shorts. But so that's Satan Hates You. Not bad for a blind buy if you're interested in this material, in Christploitation genre, and a new sort of version of that. You might be interested in that. Other than that, I'd probably say Twin Cheeks is probably the weirdest one on our list. I don't know if it's worth seeing. I haven't seen it yet. We may get somebody to see it. We probably will get somebody to see it before the year's end. And of course, Troll 2, I think, has a built-in audience. So that's probably the one that most people will be interested in. We will have a guest 2 weeks from now. So I'm not going to announce them yet, but they're a Finnish couple. I'll just leave that there. And Giles, in the remaining 1 minute, what should people do?
Well, people should like and subscribe, anything with our name attached to it, our YouTube channel, podcasts, buy our books, read our website, tell your friends, enemies, and that dork down the street who says cinema is dead, that no, it is not, it's alive and well, and we're covering it. And otherwise, spread the word of 366 to anyone who might bear to listen to you.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal. I have nothing to add to that. So other than that, we'll see you next week with more of the same. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll start having guests. We could have a guest next week. Who knows? It would be a surprise one, though. All right. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Cheers.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.